Ooh, yeah. What you gonna do, brother? With the Carrie and the Kevin and the Mike and the Jack Jr. and the... There's another one. Who's the other one? Carrie, Kevin, of course. And the David runs wild on you. Oh man, I wish I could cut promos like Hulk Hogan or Macho Man or Ric Flair. I mean, God, man, it's like they just snorted a bunch of Adderall and cocaine right at the same time, and they're like, let's go. No script, we're here, let's do it. I'm Josh for you. Welcome back to another review, another thoughts. I don't really know what I should be calling it. And we're gonna be talking about, if I had the wrestling underwear. We're gonna be talking about Iron Claw. It's a movie written and directed by Sean Durkin, stars Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and Harris Dickinson. The movie is about the Von Erich family, the tragedy that is the Von Erich family that has to do with their curse as a family, and we're seeing it through the lens of Kevin Von Erich having to deal with his brother's tragedies while it is on the scope and stage of wrestling. Now, if anybody knows wrestling, really, I mean, you probably know the Von Erich family. They're a famous family. They were inducted into the Hall of Fame, but at the same time, you know that it's an extremely tragic story. I think that what they did with this movie specifically is owned the fact that it is tragic and it's only coming out of one Von Erich. Only one is currently living. Spoilers if you didn't know that. I'll have to put spoilers on this. I think the actors were really good. The living Chad meme that is Zac Efron and the bear, yes chef, yes chef, yes chef, Jeremy Allen White, and then of course the King's man, Harris Dickinson. They were all really good. Kind of felt mismatched a little bit because when you see the real life Von Erich families versus who they cast, it's hard not to look at them and think like, okay, well none of them are 6'3" and just gigantic and jacked. Yes, you had Zac Efron. How he could get more jacked with less body fat freaks me out, and I need to know that secret now. I need to know it now. It's kind of like when you saw Robert De Niro with those gigantic shoes for The Irishman. They had to like make that change, but they didn't do that in Iron Claw. They just kept it, we'll just let the actors shine. Their shining will be as big as the Von Erich's height. Another thing is the commitment to the wrestling story. I imagine they took some liberties here and there, but they didn't seem to over-dramatize a whole bunch of things. They had a lot of work to play with, even though we were just mainly concentrated on Kevin. If they were to have gone outside, I think that would have been a better impact when it came to the emotional aspect of the movie. On top of that, the patriarch that is father, which is Fritz Von Erich, played by Holt McCallany. He's a powerhouse of an actor, and he really helped with that. The problem is that they kept giving us these small breadcrumbs. Oh, he's a good dad, or he actually is proud. He actually says I love you, all this kind of stuff, which I think kind of made it a little bit of more of a step back from what they could really have accomplished. And you'll know what I mean when you go see it, if you go see it. The movie is really just emotionally monotone. It just plays like this. Doesn't really have ups and downs of emotional work within the characters, within the story, kind of like hitting us, right? Like getting to that point where you're about to cry and you're holding it back because you're looking at everybody else and they're like looking at you, just waiting for you. I don't think that they elevated the emotion enough for each one of those characters to make you care as much until a demise or until like a big tragedy. Another thing, straight up, there's no other explanation for this. Ric Flair was terrible. And look, I don't want to knock the actor because he worked with what he had. I felt like I needed to knock the casting director. In what world do you just put the wig on to Ric Flair and then think that guy can be Ric Flair? Not even looked like it, not even acted like it, not even promoted like it. You swung, you missed. It's real hard. That was bad. You don't have to see this. If you want to see something close enough to that has to do within the wrestling world, that kind of feels more gritty, that actually has an emotional tie, it'll tug your strings, just watch The Wrestler. Go watch, it's with Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke's comeback before he kept coming back. You can watch that and skip Iron Claw. By no means is it a bad movie. It's just that it that doesn't really fit anywhere. It's just okay. The emotional monotone, the characterization of the Von Erich family, that doesn't really. But yeah, you don't have to. Anyway.